Respublika Ata Jurt Kyrgyzstan Party Bir Bol Ata Maken Onagu Progress CIS member state. The Supreme Council is the unicameral parliament of the Kyrgyz Republic. It was known as the Supreme Soviet of the Kyrgyz Soviet Socialist Republic until 1991. The parliament has 120 seats with members elected for a 5-year term by party list proportional voting. During Soviet rule, it was known as the Supreme Soviet of the Kyrgyz SSR. From 1991, when Kyrgyzstan gained independence from the Soviet Union, until October 2007, when the constitution was changed in a referendum, the Supreme Council consisted of the Legislative Assembly and the Assembly of People's Representatives with 60 and 45 members, respectively. The members of both houses were elected to 5-year terms. In the Assembly of People's Representatives, all 45 members were elected in single-seat constituencies. In the Legislative Assembly, 45 members were elected in single-seat constituencies and 15 were elected through party lists. Since October 2007, the Supreme Council is a unicameral legislature. Originally it consisted of 90 members. However, when in 2010 President Kurmanbek Bakiev was ousted after riots, a new constitution was adopted that increased the number of members to 120. Parties are limited to 65 seats in order to prevent power concentration. The 120 seats in the Supreme Council are elected by proportional representation in a single nationwide constituency. To win seats, parties must pass a national electoral threshold of 9% up from 7% before 2017, and receive at least 0.7% of the vote in each of the 7 regions. No party is allowed to hold more than 65 seats. Party lists are required to have at least 30% of the candidates from each gender, and every 4th candidate had to be of a different gender. Each list is also required to have at least 15% of the candidates being from ethnic minorities and 15% of under 35 years old, as well as at least 2 candidates with disabilities. The first legislature of Kyrgyzstan was Supreme Soviet until 1994. Bicameral legislature was established in 1995 and replaced with unicameral legislature. Supreme Council. In 2005, Chairman of the Assembly of People's Representatives of Kyrgyzstan was the presiding officer of one of the 2 chambers of the Supreme Council. The Chairman of the Legislative Assembly of Kyrgyzstan was the presiding officer of one of the 2 chambers of the Supreme Council. Chairman of the Supreme Council since 2005. Annual compensation of the chairman is 975,000 soms. The 2005 Kyrgyz parliamentary elections were held in February and March 2005. More than 400 candidates ran for the new 75-member unicameral legislative assembly. There were 2 rounds of voting held on the 27th of February and the 13th of March. 6 seats were won by opposition politicians. Most candidates were officially independent. International observers said the elections fell short of international standards for democratic elections in several important areas. Widespread protests over alleged rigging of the election by the government culminated in the Tulip Revolution on the 24th of March. Revolutionaries overthrew President Askar Akayev